Alright, so when we left off, you guys had encountered a local lizard folk from the area who was on a mission to deal with an impending event of this witch arriving, this creature from the hells returning and plaguing the locals. And you managed to help defeat this creature, and in doing so made a new friend, though he chose to return back to his tribe. But you had a brief little celebration, bittersweet, as you were still reeling from the loss of Lou, the paladin, while at the same time trying to move forward with a celebration of your victory. But by about noon, he had entered into the lagoon and swam off to the north, returning towards his tribe, leaving the group of you together with a rather large sum of this hog, this pig that you guys had roasted the previous night, and were eating kind of the leftovers and enjoying some other treats along with it. But now you guys are alone, sitting on this little patio with two new members of the party that you don't really know yet. And that's where we get started.
How did you guys end up on an island out here anyway? I mean, I know you came through a portal. I got the portal part. But did you just, find a portal and jump through it?
We found a crystal from a witch, and then used it because
Was
we were
she a
being
witch? Did we know she was a witch?
But we thought that Martin was a necromancer.
Yeah.
Necromancers are nasty.
Yeah, we helped him.
We don't know what she was, but she's some sort of very odd magical botanist.
Yep. And,
Dead magical botanist.
Magical.
Dead magical botanist.
Do any of their descriptions match what I've heard about, one of the reasons why I came to the island?
I've never heard of...
So
I mean, I don't know what they're smoking. At this point, they're talking about having, a magical botanist that they stole a crystal witch from and teleported to an island with mermaids.
To this house.
To this house. Conveniently.
Well, I mean,
Speaking
there is
of mermaids, don't forget that you did actually see the tail of one of the said mermaids. Mm-hmm. So you were not completely unaware of such a creature in the area.
I mean, I did see what looked to be a counterpart crystal that was purple in what appears to be the study over there. Their story seems...
The metal that was in there was for the necromancer.
Was he? What's the undead kingdom here?
Diora?
Yeah.
was he Bjorn?
Yeah. Well, he's from Diora. We don't know that
Well, we don't know that he was Dioran, but we know that he knew enough about Diora.
Well, it just seems weird that a kingdom would give medals to a necromancer.
It's Diora.
Yeah, all the kingdoms here are weird.
So this was basically his vacation house. We had portals to and from it.
Or his study.
Or his
I mean,
study.
it's nice here.
Yeah.
I mean, hers was full. The
Who
other
knows
tower
what other
was full.
portals they could have access to.
How many crystals are there?
We've only found the two so far. Because we have one
We have
and then
one.
the other one's
You
in the
had
case.
one and then you found two.
Where do they go?
We found two?
Yeah, you found the purple one that was inside the display case next to the metal, and then down in the lab there was a second green one
No,
that
not
matched
green.
the one that you already have.
Do you know where they go?
Well, one brought us here.
Well, if it's a green one, would it go back to the same place? I don't know how portals work.
We need someone more magically inclined.
That would be you.
That would be helpful.
The sorceress says, we need someone more magically inclined.
I'm not cut out for this.
I'm even more adulty adult.
You can roll to find that out.
I could, but I'd have to be near the crystal to do so.
Who has them? Did you take the purple one?
Did we?
I believe it's still sitting in the case in the
The
study.
Yeah,
pretty sure there's a
nobody,
dragon
nobody
in
has
your
touched
basement.
either of the crystals.
The dragon in
to
the
this
basement,
point.
I think, has like all your stuff. What's the dish with the dragon in the basement?
She likes books. You should probably leave her alone. Was she rude to you when you went down
I
there?
think
he
she's just
also likes books.
Comparing me to her.
Yeah, he's not always rude though.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I just met you guys. I don't know.
We've stabbed things together. We'll go in places.
All right. What brought you two this way?
Shipwreck, sharks, and a captain who wouldn't listen to me when I told him there was a storm coming.
I mean, we were headed this way, but
I mean, we could have had a softer landing.
I'm guessing he's the captain that wouldn't listen.
No, he's not. Just look at his hands. He's not a sea captain.
Was this sea captain?
Oh, he's dead now. He's shark food.
Yeah, but was he not a very experienced sea captain? I mean,
I think that it was more his judgment on my lack of experience, which was entirely misplaced.
Would you be able to have any sort of knowledge on him if you found out his name?
possible.
Potentially as a sailor.
Yeah.
I mean, I
His
guess
name is
depend-
Captain Bryce.
Nice.
Do I know of him? Can I roll?
Sure.
The
I would
Just
say-
be an intelligence check.
But
But
proficiency because of sailor?
yeah, because well, you are a proficient sailor.
okay. What's that?
You need to roll again.
No, proficiency just means you add your proficiency modifier.
Yeah,
So 9.
9. Not someone you've heard of. Then again, there are a lot of ships and sailors out there. To expect you to know all of them would be kind of ridiculous.
No. Must know everything.
Not a well-known sea captain. Then.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. I grew up on ships. And,
So apparently he wasn't good enough.
well, sometimes
Well, I
you
mean,
can't
he
predict
was-
this ocean.
He was willing to ferry us out to an unknown island for a sum of gold, so probably just needed money. So what are you gonna do now? And do you talk?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just quiet. I actually just joined these guys not too long ago. Like,
How'd you meet them?
I did.
We were in prison together. That was fun.
A motley crew.
Very.
It was very interesting.
So you escaped prison,
Yes.
killed a witch and a necromancer.
No, they were already dead.
Who is the spirit of the witch?
We don't know that she was.
Okay. Technically, she was just a wizard. She was
Okay.
not a witch.
It's a Pathfinder class, John. We know.
she kind of went crazy and destroyed the last time we were in.
No, she
No.
didn't.
No, she
No?
didn't.
No, it was
No.
Tessa's mom.
Oh, Tessa's mom did. Okay.
Tessa's the
The girl.
special
Oh,
kid with you
yeah.
guys?
Just to clarify, Tessa is not undead, but was dead. We don't know what's going on there. But
Don't look
hence
at me,
the
I've barely
eye.
seen her.
That's your jam though.
I know, out of character, I have a feeling if Tessa looked at me that she would probably see something really freaking strange going on.
She probably
Yeah.
just marvel. Just gonna be like,
She also sees dead people, so if you need.
Yeah, the entity that wound up that was attacking the town when you guys were escaping was Tessa's
That's right.
deceased mother.
Okay.
The Lou had put the spirit of the Ethel to rest by taking her remains and putting them with her husband, and then was promptly gifted with an ability, a temporary boon that gave him some defenses against necromantic magic.
Which didn't do him any
That
good against the
didn't wind
brains.
up doing him any good
He had a glowing
in
mark
the
on
battle
his
with the
forehead, which
brains.
became a target.
Yeah, because it wasn't necromantic, it was
Right.
what
It was
psychic. Yeah.
But not psionic.
So
So what were you guys looking for on the island?
He's doing some research. He's
Yeah.
into spells and things like that. He's
I'm looking for traces of a particular person as well as hints of a particular set of magical artifacts.
How long have you guys been on the island?
They said that they would only
20
been like a
minutes?
day,
Yeah,
like ish.
about
It's been
an
like
hour or
it's
so.
2 days
At
now.
At this
roughly.
point, roughly 2 days.
Yeah. I remember them telling us when we.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
that would've
actually,
been
has it been
Ours,
2 days?
we were
right
Technically,
after
like,
the
24
Cleric or
about
whatever his
24
name was
hours.
to
I was
help
gonna say we
Because they
showed
got
up a
here
few
about
hours
noon
before they
the
So
day
it's about
before.
a day total, but
Yeah,
but it's basically the second day.
yeah. It's their second day, but not quite a full 2 days.
On at the second day.
Yeah, I only met them, 3 days ago?
3 days ago.
had a good 3 days.
Yeah.
Burned down town. Out in the desert.
To grab
Plus,
kidnapped
um,
So you burnt the thing that was chasing you burned down the town.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you
mom.
left town through a portal
Yes.
Because
that
it
you didn't
burned.
know where the portal went.
Yes.
Mhm.
When you got a GTFO, you got a GTFO.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
would have just taken a cart or a road.
Our
That one
car-
I mean, as a
Girl.
sailor, this
Yeah, I wonder why.
this phrase should mean something to you. Any port in a storm.
Any port in a storm, but I mean, if the town was already burned down, why not just leave?
it was burning.
It was burning.
We were also, the guards were not happy with us for taking Tessa.
They
They
were-
were-
Did you guys kidnap that kid?
No, no, no.
we
They
They
kidnapped.
were
kidnapped
going
both
to
of
kill
them
Tessa
because
and
they-
her brother.
Yes.
They were going to sacrifice them.
You guys sound like you have like this super complicated story going on.
Oh,
That
we
sounds.
definitely
What are you gonna do now?
See what else is on the island, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I mean that elvish city is really piquing my interest.
Yeah.
Especially since the person that I'm looking for is elvish. There's a good chance
Could an
that
elf still be living down there?
I mean, I would depend on what the city is like. If it's, actually, magically warded off from actually water, and you can enter it like normal.
Or it's
But there's a good
full
chance
of
that she was looking for something in the city, and if she was, then I want to.
I
Have it.
don't speak mermaid,
I don't
but
think I
Cleric
know.
said that there were mermaids down in the lagoon.
I saw one. There are mermaids there.
Are they big?
Oh, yeah. They're, I don't know. I
People
wouldn't have
sized.
people size. Would I have seen mermaids? Did I already ask that last time? Would I have seen
Yes, you
mermaids on
haven't
my-
seen one, but you have heard of mermaids.
Okay.
Would any of us know what languages mermaids generally speak?
Aquan?
That would be an intelligence check.
Sorry.
23.
Aquan is common, primordial. Some of them speak. Most of them also speak common.
Okay.
They're an intelligence species.
Any of them speak Gripply?
That's Pathfinder. Why are you whispering?
You don't have to whisper. The camera can't hear me when I'm speaking at normal volume anyway.
Okay, good. I said I speak primordial.
That doesn't help you.
Primordial.
does.
It does, because it allows
They're
her to
mermaids
communicate
in
with
their
anybody that
language.
speaks any of the
That's right.
primordial languages.
Oh, the base 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a handy one to learn. Honestly, the only reason I know how to speak common here is because when they picked me up, one of the crew members actually knew Giant, and apparently Giant is cross-continental and planar.
Oh,
So he taught me New Common.
fancy.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys known each other?
I mean, since shortly before we boarded the ship, we
So like 4 days.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in like this boat.
He knows
They used to
magic
be.
stuff. I'm looking for magic stuff.
So he's on a quest to find magic items. Where do you tie into this?
I am his meat shield while he finds what he's looking for, and hopefully along the way we'll find what I'm looking for,
And
which is
Ale.
portals. Well, ale, always. Yeah, definitely. Portals, interplanar travel would be pretty cool. I'm not originally from this plane, and I would either like to get home or just become such a badass here that there's no reason to go home. And being an adventurer is the most classic way to do that. My grandmother had this ship, and she My great-grandmother became a god on where I'm from, and my grandmother had this haunted ship and sailed off into the sunset and was never seen again, so I've got a...
Insight check. Natural 20.
Oddly, she seems to be sincere in what she's saying. So she either is really good at lying, completely delusional and believes what she's saying, or is telling the truth. Take what you will from that.
I know out of character knowledge, she's a fucking Gibson, so... Emphasis just for fun.
So, if you're going to explore the island, and we're going to explore the island, it only seems reasonable, right? You know where I'm going with this.
So we all split up.
You're new, aren't you?
Do you guys think Tessa and Liam and the others probably want to stay behind?
They've got a barbarian to keep them
I'm not
company.
sure that the person in the hammock is going to be happy with staying behind.
Don't whisper, we can't hear you.
I'm not sure the person in the hammock is going to be happy with staying behind. Is the person in the hammock with you?
Yes.
Ish. I mean, they came through the portal with us at the last minute. I hired them to help us in the town before
To kidnap the child.
Excuse me.
to save the child
Yeah.
from the kidnappers.
Sure.
And
To save the dead but not dead child. Yes.
anyway, the barbarian just came through the portal with us.
Because it was either stay there in the burning town in the inn or get to a tropical island that seemed nice.
Honestly, I don't think she cares either way. She'd probably be okay to nap or go with us. We can ask.
It's either blood or napping for her.
She'll always choose blood.
Honestly, she's a sailor, it looks like, so ale is the third option.
I mean, personally, it looks like that she's not too interested in doing much heavy lifting. So, I don't know if I would trust her to watch my back.
At this point, the relatively silent Eskin, the innkeeper, kind of sits forward and is like, I'm not too concerned with the barbarian and her protection. I'm not exactly unskilled as a soldier. I've seen a few battles, so I can protect myself and those that I choose to keep under my guard.
Insight check of 10? Does he seem like he's actually seen some battle, or is he just spouting off?
Even with a 10's pretty low, but you would guess that he's telling the truth.
Well, and then Liam.
He's got a number of not like terrible, like deforming kind of scars, but you can see like little scars like on the cheek, across the forearms and the knuckles and everything that are common amongst those that have seen combat. You know, the nicks from various arrows and blades and spears, and just kind of on him. But he doesn't. But he's older. You'd say he's probably like late 40s, early 50s. So not exactly a spring chicken when it comes to doing things. But that also means that he might actually be more dangerous than, say, a new soldier.
No, that's good. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't some, like, I worked for the guard, I tamed a couple riots, kind of.
No.
Seen some battle kind of dude.
But he continues on with his stories, like, however, I have a son back in Kalmoria,
That's the island, right?
and I would like to get back to it.
It's a continent.
It's so that I can at least ensure that my son is safe and that he is aware that we are safe.
I
know that you guys brought us here and we volunteered to come with, but my daughter was my priority at the time. She is now safe. We are not going to burn to death from some spectral being who is wreaking havoc upon the town. And we have found some sort of safety away from the Count and his minions. So I know you guys have your own agendas, but I would very much appreciate if you could figure out a way for us to at least get back somehow.
I thought that dark-haired kid up on the balcony was your kid.
Liam? No, Liam and Tessa are not my children. And he kind of points towards this kind of strawberry blonde young woman that's currently sweeping up on kind of towards the entrance of the villa. She's kind of sweeping away with a broom that she's made from bamboo and some palm
That was her
fronds.
number one priority when she landed on this island. I need a broom!
No, she was asked to.
You've noticed that she's kind of kept away from the group a little bit. She's got long strawberry blonde hair that's currently kind of in a really tight braid down her back. But even in a tight braid, it comes down to just past her waist. So she's got this really long hair. She's cute for her age. You guess she's probably like 14, 15, maybe 16. Very pale, with these very, very pale green eyes and a spattering of freckles across her cheeks and across the bridge of her nose. She seems healthy, fairly athletic, but
Not like burned and charred,
Yeah, she's
grotesquely wounded.
no, but she seems to be kind of keeping herself busy with tasks around the villa, even though you haven't seen any kind of like dirt or debris or anything like that. She has set herself to task and seems to be avoiding everyone for the most part.
Once he's done saying that he wants a way to go home, I actually want to go and actually properly look at the purple crystal and see if I can figure out where it's a portal to, assuming it's the same as the green ones. From
So
We
you
can
just
also
want to,
take a
you're just
look
going to
at
get
the
up
just gonna
and
get up and walk, yeah.
He's probably gonna go, like, things. He's...
All right, so you walk inside and past the girl who just kind of looks at you and goes back to sweeping. As you walk through the main room, you see Liam is discussing something with his sister up above. Fairly quietly, they're just kind of discussing something. Excuse me. And you pass through into the silence of the study and walk over towards the glass case. You don't see any obvious way of opening it up. Perhaps the top just lifts off.
All right, well, I will just try that first.
Okay.
Can I see him from
You're upside.
where we were at, or is he way past inside?
You could probably see him because all those doors are open on the end, so that entire end is pretty much opened up.
So I'm watching him attempt to move something that he doesn't know if it's trapped or...
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just walking in. Oh, look.
Now remember, he's not going to be able to hear you.
No, I know. I'm saying how fast would I be able to get...
Throw a rock.
No, to the...
Hit him in the head with a rock.
I mean, you can start
Hit him
running and
behind.
then throw.
Well, I would say that you could probably make it to the room because he's looking it over, trying to see if there's like a latch or anything to open it up. So it would give you a few seconds to get over there. If you were actually in a hurry, considering that
That's
you
what I mean.
could,
If I jumped up and dashed so that he doesn't die,
yeah.
because
Or I
think he's
could
going to kill
just do
himself.
an
I don't know if
do
you
an
would,
investigation roll to see if I can find a way to open it.
but from my perspective, I'm watching
Yeah.
a magic folk person run over there and like, I'm going to lift this up.
Yeah, if that's
And-
something you would like to do, yeah, you could definitely go running in there.
Alright, so Wentsu sees that and takes off across the...
Alright.
I don't hop!
No, his bird legs, they go...
So as he runs in, he's going to yell, stop, to you, and I'll stop.
Any particular reason?
What's going on?
Do you know if that's trapped?
I was about to look it over.
I
You
I
look
don't
like you
know.
were just going to lift that up.
Well, I mean,
So,
You can't have two conversations.
I'm
at
trying to have a
once.
conversation with him, and
yeah. I mean, are you familiar with traps?
very much so.
Be my guest.
Would you like me? So I'm going to look for traps on that.
alright, give me an investigation check.
Terrible.
I am familiar with these.
11.
Though you didn't get a very good check, you're kind of looking it over. You kind of look underneath, being as thorough as you can possibly be. But even though you didn't get a very good roll, you notice some very obvious signs that there's something to be careful about with this thing. There's no locking mechanisms, but on the underside of the little podium that the glass case sits on top of, there are little runes in each of the corners. Whether it's a trap or not, you're not really certain.
So, I'm not familiar with this kind of trap, or if it is a trap, but there are definitely magic runes around this edge.
I don't know. I didn't see those. Looking at the runes, does anything stand out to me?
Give me an Arcana check.
17.
Yes, it is 4 explosive runes.
Would I know how to disable explosive runes, or is that...
Yeah, you could dispel magic, knowing any kind of password that it might be set to it. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Technically, the rogue could potentially disable it with if he might know a trick or two for disabling the trap, but
What would that be under my
It would just be your thieves' tools.
Okay.
yeah.
Would I be able
but
to...
it would use intelligence instead of.
Would I be able to
dexterity.
assist using my magical knowledge to kind of help him work through things that he doesn't...
Yeah, that would give him advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Intelligence over, so that would be...
The intelligence +2.
Plus
basically.
plus your.
Well, +2 for your proficiency.
Yeah, but he's got expertise in his
Oh, right.
tools.
So, yeah.
So +4, intelligence +4.
Yeah.
So, okay, so 7.
And then advantage on the roll, so you get to roll it twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
You go get a towel.
So if you
Okay,
drop
go
it,
ahead.
alright, I'm gonna do it. First one will be an 18. Definitely not down.
So 18.
Yeah, so 18.
18 total. All right, so you're kind of checking out the runes and everything, and you managed to bypass 2 of them
Okay.
with that particular roll, but the other 2 are seem to be a little bit more stubborn.
Okay.
But you didn't set anything off, and you have basically half disabled the trap.
Alright. So I get to do a roll again then? Give this a try again, or?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. 2 of them are down. Alright, so that's 22. Or, whoa!
That's the table.
There you go. That's 25.
All right, so with the 25, you very easily bypass the other 2 runes, and to your knowledge, it is now safe to remove the glass case.
I think it's safe.
Alright. I will remove the glass case.
All right, so you heft it up, and it's pretty heavy glass. As you lift it up and move it to the side, you see this purple crystal laying upon this velvet pillow.
And it has runes inside it, right?
Yeah, just inside of it, it's about 18 inches in length, about 4 inches in diameter, hexagonal crystal. Not completely even, so you could tell that it's a naturally formed crystal, because the sides aren't perfectly even or whatever, but it's a hexagonal crystal, and then it's a deep, deep purple, almost black. And you see the very faint gold circles of runes drifting around inside of it.
Okay. I basically want to see if I can tell where this crystal goes to.
Okay.
Would it basically just be
I-
Arcana to use it, or just...
Yeah, it's going to be an Arcana check, but because you already have the basic knowledge of what it is, I'll give you advantage.
Okay. 13, not very good.
You can't quite pick out all of the runes, but you've narrowed it down enough that you know that it goes to some sort of major location within Diora.
Okay. All right.
You don't know specifically where in Diora, but you know that it's someplace prominent and within that kingdom.
All right. So this crystal goes to Diora. Not. Do you know who had the green crystal that brought you here? Do you know who has that currently?
Lou had it, and I ended up with it.
Yeah, you wound up taking it.
I have the green.
May I take a look at it?
So,
I basically want to see if that crystal goes back to where it came from, or if it's just a one-way thing.
Okay.
pull it out now.
Same thing. I'll give you advantage on it.
Natural 20. 27 total.
It opens a gate from that location to this location. If you were to open it up here, it would just take you to the same location you were already at.
Okay.
Basically, it would open a gate from right here in this room to that little circle over there.
Okay. Yeah, so this crystal will take you to wherever you arrived here.
Okay. There's a circle up the road.
I think I remember passing it. But yeah. You said there was a crystal downstairs?
Yeah, we have to go talk to the dragon.
Alright, so the two of you make your way slightly hesitantly down the stairs, and you see the black dragonborn shuffling about. She's already amassed a number of books on a table and is quickly, meticulously trying to match them against other books that she has from her pouches and everything. And she's trying to decipher these texts. She briefly looks up at the two of you, scowls ever so slightly, and then just nose buried back into her work. But every once in a while, she glances up to make sure that you're not approaching the various tomes and stuff on the shelf.
Is the crystal anywhere near her, or is it still where it would have been?
It's still in the exact same place. Well,
I'm not
so
that I would know, yeah.
You know that it's still lying in the exact same place where you guys saw it before. Okay. It doesn't look like she's had much interest in that particular item. She's more caught up in the various books and everything.
So I'll lead him over to where it's over this way. I don't know if you can see it from where we're at.
Right, so the green crystal is sitting in the middle of a workbench with a number of other tools that you recognize that are used in enchanting and that type of thing.
So does the crystal look finished if there is enchanting?
It does indeed look finished, but it looks like it's sitting next to what looks like might have been another crystal in the making, but it is not completed.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look at this crystal and see where it goes effectively.
Okay.
That's a good roll. That's not as good. So 23.
This particular portal will take you to a tower in Bramblemarsh, known as the Greystone Isle.
And Bramblemarsh, that is
in Kalmoria.
That's in Kalmoria. Okay. Yeah. So I will grab this crystal and I'll tell Wentsu. This one actually goes back to Kalmoria. Looks like a tower in Bramblemarsh.
This is where we found this green crystal at, and would make sense. This one would be the one that they could use to get closer to their town. Probably better that they don't appear right back in the middle of town anyway.
I mean, it sounds like, from what you've told me, this tower would be one of their places anyway, so...
Hopefully. We left there. There's no more danger there, that's right, because it would be, well, I don't know. The little plant people were still there.
They didn't care.
Didn't care for the adventurers, but...
Well, we got rid of
they were
the...
fine because we had the...
Giant shark tooth.
Yeah.
For now. But that's...
That's not them. That's not the innkeeper.
Yeah. They were fine with us, not with
Tough adventurers that could probably kick their butts, but
yeah.
We
easy
make
prey
them look
civilians.
Okay.
But all right, I'm looking around at all these books, and I'm looking at the Dragonborn. It's like, I don't know if this is something I want
You
to do.
speak to Yorin, so
I do.
and you Infernal too, don't you?
Yes.
So you actually can read the spines on most of these books, and a lot of them are various tomes that they probably don't contain spells specifically, but a vast array of knowledge on all kinds of things like anatomy and enchantments and necromancy and just a huge array of different things that would have of arcane knowledge is locked away here.
Do I, in my limited time here, doing a cursory look, is there anything that stands out? Looks like it would contain information on the rings.
From what you understand, the rings are mostly Fey, and you don't see anything Fey related in this.
Anything on planar portals?
Actually, a couple. There's like a section on portals and stuff. Matter of fact, one of the books about planar transportation is basically on the book where this crystal is at, or is on the table where the crystal is at.
I'll grab it.
Okay.
But okay, outside of that, I think I don't want to potentially fight over the Dragonborn with books. So I'm gonna just head upstairs with taking the crystal with me.
Okay. Meanwhile, the remainder of you, what are you doing?
I'm gonna let Kalista know there is food upstairs. A grouchy one.
She just kind of grunts.
Thank you.
Just giving you fair warning before it's all eaten.
So, Kara and Mordai and Kalista.
I'm gonna
You
go
guys
talk to the
I think
barbarian.
that's a cleric.
So you just kind of
Because I'm the person that's had the most interaction with her.
you hired her.
Hired her and kind of like, oh, could you follow us this way? She hasn't been useless. She's killed lots of things for us. So.
Yeah. So you go around the corner, and she's still kind of
That's how
lounging in the
work, by the way.
hammock. You notice she's got like an array of coconuts kind of around her that she's got the tops of them off, and she apparently has
She's
a
putting the
thing for
limes in it,
coconut milk,
No.
which honestly is kind of
It's
gross.
disgusting. Wasn't it coconut water?
Yeah,
Yeah, which is really gross.
Yeah.
Straight from the coconut.
yeah, but she seems to enjoy it. So
Well, she's
Is
a
she eating the
sailor.
coconut
Yeah.
meat
God,
as
the
well?
biggest disappointment of my life.
Is she eating the coconut meat as well?
no,
No, just
Did she
Gross
ever get
coconut
some of the
water.
boar?
she did, and she didn't really linger too much because you get it, after a while. She sat there for a while. She was attentive.
Mm-hmm.
And then
She
you
came
guys
up,
didn't like
hopped
break
over
out in
the
any
wall.
brawls. There was no ale or spirits or anything there to
Not
partake
enough
in.
rowdiness.
Yeah, so she just kind of went back to her hammock and just kind of lounged.
Sea shanties or whatever.
Yeah.
This is not much of a barbecue. I'm going.
Start doing that Hawaiian
So
battle.
I'll,
It's made from fibers of the banana tree.
I'll walk up and.
It's made from fibers of
that-
the banana tree.
Is that good as a coconut?
I like it well enough. She's like, you want one?
No, that's okay. We were talking about exploring the island a little bit. I don't know what plans you had.
Honestly, if you guys are killing some stuff, sure. No offense to you guys, but you're pretty boring people.
Well,
When you hired me, you guys were going to go kill some guards and start a war, and there was going to be a grand battle, and we were going to become kings and queens of our own land.
Can I make a perception check to see if
None
I hear
of those
this?
promises have been kept.
Can I walk over to this?
I want to make a perception check to see if Dagmar heard any of that.
Okay.
That's good.
23.
Yeah. She's not exactly quiet about her
Killing
ranting.
guards. What you guys do for fun, huh? She'll just put her hands on her swords.
I mean,
Not particularly.
to be honest, the whole town did get.
You've
set on
only been here
fire
for like
behind
4
us.
days.
That was like
You
the
didn't even
only
know
good
this
thing that
person?
happened. Other
You met
than,
in
you
prison.
know, that one guard that I cleaved completely
Did you?
open. Did you see that?
I
That
did
was
see
amazing.
that. I did see that. You were.
I
pretty
still
much-
have some of the blood behind my ear, you want to see?
That's cool. That's a cool souvenir.
No.
I mean, like, do you need to get back to your sailing company, or?
I'm pretty sure they've left town by now. I mean, with it being on fire and stuff,
Yeah.
probably not much of a reason to stick around. Then again, little competition for the ale, so.
Did you guys start the fire?
No.
We
Not
didn't start
exactly.
the fire.
It was always burning.
Actually, it was
The
the
girls
guards'
been
fault.
turning.
It was the guards' fault for starting the fire because they took.
Was this before or after you apparently cut them in half?
Hey, we didn't cut anybody.
You're in the other room.
I crashed a cart.
They
That's
cut-
all I did.
I just helped put the
He
children
helped crash the cart.
from the guards' cart into the other cart.
I drove the getaway car.
You're the kidnapper. You're the getaway driver.
Tried to pass it off, and then he crashed it.
I'm
Then
gonna go look for this guy. I'm gonna go
Okay.
find Sylen. I don't think he should be by himself right now.
I can't
I'm not
communicate.
sharpening enough.
So are you guys headed back to Bramblemarsh? Is this what you're talking about? We're gonna go
No.
finish what we started?
No, I actually think we're gonna explore the island, but there is a way to get back. I don't know that.
No, you don't know that yet.
Never
I
scratch
forgot.
that. We were just gonna explore the island. I know the innkeeper wants to go back and try and find his son.
Hmm.
So it's really up to you, or you could just stay here at this house in the hammock and take a vacation. But I know you're bored.
I am very bored.
Could I go over to them?
And sure.
Okay.
And I don't know why you guys want to explore this island. There's been monkeys, pigs, and seagulls.
I saw a mermaid.
We heard that some of those monkeys are evil spirits, though. And they smile.
Well, I smile. That doesn't make me an evil spirit. Okay, it might. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored, we're just gonna explore the island a little bit. I don't think we're gonna take too much time to do it.
If we find a way back, would you like to go back instead?
Sure, that sounds like it would be a good idea. Like I said, you guys
Then
don't
you can
seem
take
to
over
be,
the land and
you know,
have it for yourself.
as rowdy as I kind of hoped.
Alright.
I'll just take my share of the treasure for the battle and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
just go on back to, you know, the old sailing ship.
Right, well, I'll get back to you on your share,
Great,
and we'll figure out what we're doing and how to get you back there.
great. All right.
Wentsu felt a really uneasy feeling. when he heard
Someone is talking about money.
someone's talking about taking money.
So I'll walk back over to the group.
Okay.
So I was gonna, for a second.
Meanwhile, as you walk into the main structure, you see these two come walking out of the study.
Can I have a word with you?
Yeah. What?
I want to wait until he walks away.
Do you walk away, or do
No,
you
I
just stand
stand
there?
He's a bird man.
Can you do your bird eye?
What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, Fey, Infernal, Draconic, Deodorant.
Well, that's not helpful at all. Okay, I'm just gonna get in real close and just try and, have a quiet conversation with him.
I
Okay.
have a quiet library.
Huh?
It's because I'm right here. That's why.
Yeah.
She's trying to have a quiet conversation, and Wentsu's like,
Do I need to, do I need to make a
Can
stealth?
he go? They go to the office or the.
I think we're
room.
in there?
No, you're not in
outside
the
of it.
office. You're in
If you
the
step
common
into
room.
there, you guys couldn't hear each other, and he couldn't hear you.
I don't think my character knows about the creepy quiet room yet, though.
Okay.
You've been in
Yeah.
there, so yeah, you do know about it.
Okay. Should we step into the parlor?
Is it something that? Well, sure. I'm guessing. I mean, I can see that it needs to be. She wants to keep it a
we should
secret.
probably talk about this. Yeah.
So I guess we'll sidle into the
All right.
silent room.
So you step into the study. The two of you step into the study.
I'll go
When-
tell them about the
Wentsu
other
just
green
continues
crystal.
Okay.
from the-
You're just
I'll be like, I know that I'm not wanted. It's fine.
They're in the
Go
study. They can
have
hear
your
you.
conversations alone.
They're in the study.
I'm pretty sure they were talking about divvying up your gold, by the way.
Done.
Going through.
Dust trail. Feathers.
Amy,
What?
Where is the treasure?
So you two step
Down with the
into the enchanted study.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that these are people we want to necessarily make a long-term friendship with. I don't think they realized what they were talking about when they were out there discussing it. But before they jumped through the portal and left the city, they attacked the guards to steal the child, right? Which, in the first place, sounds really sketchy. They were bragging about cleaving the guards in half, including there was blood behind somebody's ear. I think it was the monk. And then there's like, okay, so the bluish one out there apparently stole the child, while the gray one was the getaway driver, but apparently she's a terrible driver and crashed the cart. And I don't know that we've landed on an island that's much safer than the sharks in the water.
well, I mean, unless we want to use this crystal to go to Calmoria,
Which we apparently burned down.
No, I
or
don't
we have
want
a
to.
crystal to Diora.
I don't want to go to Diora. That place sounds fucking weird.
But I do want to
To
find
check out
out.
the island, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here.
I'm just saying
If
we should watch our backs with these people.
Alright. So we can watch our backs with them. If worst comes to worst, they can be a distraction while we make a getaway. And if you're really concerned about what they actually did with the children, those children are upstairs. You can talk to them. Figure out what their side of the story is.
I might go talk to the angsty one. The other
They
one
both look
kind of.
pretty angsty
Yeah,
to
I mean,
me.
but the little girl kind of gives me. I don't know, she gives me the heebie-jeebies. So, plus apparently she's dead. So I don't know. That's a Diora thing, right? A Dora thing.
The explorer.
Yeah.
Well, either way, they probably have a different side of the events. Probably
And
not quite.
children tend to be a little bit more honest.
Well, blunt.
I have gold, so whatever. All right, I'm gonna go find the kid. You go figure out what they're doing.
All right, I'm gonna go and, bring the crystal to them.
All right. So, Wentsu, you get back up over to where the rest of your party are at. Kara and Kalista and Mordai are kind of there.
Hello?
What you guys, what were you doing, Wentsu?
He saved the magic one from blowing himself up.
Oh, well, that's good.
At least it seemed that way. The other teleportation crystal in there, he helped decipher where they go, all three of them. And the purple one goes to Diora,
Any idea where?
wherever this necromancer put one of these rings, probably like the one we appeared in here.
We could potentially take a closer look at the metal then. That might have some clues on it.
Maybe. Or his home. He's from there. The green one that I got from Lou only goes here. So if we open it here, we're gonna reappear in the circle back where we came at. But if we leave here, we have a way to get back. Because we have the crystal.
It's helpful.
The other crystal that Sylen also has, I think you grabbed that one too.
Yeah, I'm still currently in
Yeah.
possession of it.
So he has both of them, but the other green one goes to the tower. But I don't recall seeing a landing ring basically from because I don't look for the magic stuff. So
It might have been covered up with
who knows what. But it goes back there.
overgrowth.
I wasn't in that battle, so I didn't see much of the
Let's
inside.
see, to him.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
So there is a way to get back, but it's not entirely safe for the innkeeper to get back. Although your barbarian friend, for a little extra gold, could go back with them.
She said
You're
she wants to
offering
go
gold?
back.
Honestly, with the
Hmm?
You're
sorcerer
offering
and the
gold?
barbarian and him as the fighter.
I'm not offering.
So my gold, I didn't bring the barbarian.
I said your friend.
Not my hired
It was a
hand.
good choice to bring her along. She got us through the crowd.
I don't disagree, but
So she.
I
would
don't
li-
part
she-
with gold easily.
I know you don't. Yes, she would like to go back to see if her.
So we probably
Her
don't
ship
even need
is
to
still
pay
there.
her to go back.
But she did say something more along the line of more payment. So.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there's something of value in
Rightly
this
so,
house.
because we took away her means of.
Well, if she can carry all that copper, then she can have it.
She probably could.
We can come up with some kind of
We'll figure it out.
fair sum for her, and yes, maybe give her a little bit of extra. But how are they going to get from the tower back to the town? There's no boat.
Perhaps,
If they take enough copper, they could pay the dragon.
well, I have a couple.
We need to take a boat to get to the dragon.
Maybe the dragon give them the piggyback ride. You're not there, no, nothing about it.
Maybe there's a
Or-
a boat, but I mean that's kind of taking a chance and like potentially stranding them there,
Is there a boat
unless
here
someone wants to go with them,
that we could drag around?
or we escort them there and then come back here.
Even escorting them there, we don't have a way to get from the tower to the town to
right.
check for.
That's what I mean.
There's no
Is-
boats here, right? That's right, there wasn't any little boats.
No
around.
boats.
I'm just confused.
Can you
'cause
put
I
a
don't know
boat
what they're
through?
talking about.
The
If it
portal was
fit
large
through, I'm
enough,
sure you
But
fit,
could
yeah.
we carry it?
Yeah.
We
Anyway,
don't have a boat.
They have a way to get back.
Okay.
At this point, you to come walking back out of the main building and rejoin with them. And you guys, you have the crystal, both of the crystals at this point. When you smell something, something kind of foul, almost like rotten eggs or perhaps even sulfur. It's a unpleasant smell, and it starts off pretty light and then just gets stronger. And all of a sudden you see in the air a small tear in just the fabric of reality. You just see this tear open up, and you hear this, and you see this portal of blackness kind of swirling around, and this beast comes stepping out of it. It's massive, probably about 12 feet tall, with this kind of wolfish shaped head. It's got this very thick, shaggy mane of fur that kind of starts at kind of the top of the head, goes back over the shoulders, and kind of down at its back, and is kind of a pale gray color, while the rest of its body is covered in a much darker gray fur. It has 4 arms, 2 of which are long and powerfully built, with these massively large hands with sharp talons at the end of these spindly fingers. It just kind of drools this kind of like thick, almost black ichor from its fangs, and it just kind of looks around at all of you. You see around its neck is spinning a black chain collar with various barbs and stuff, just seems to be poking out of it. It's slowly rotating around its neck. In between the links, you see little runes that are just kind of glowing. Its eyes are black and just kind of looks around. It's like, then looks directly at you and lunges forward. Everybody roll initiatives.
Just
Hello.
Alright, so there's this beast. This horrible, angry beast has appeared. Has sniffed about and has looked directly at the Tiefling Sorceress with murderous intent. We rolled initiative, and we're ready to go. We're all back?
Yep.
Alright, so Mordai, you are first. You see this like massive beast in front of you. You can smell the sulfur that lingers on its fur. Its breath is foul, and you just see this black ichor dripping from its fangs. What are you doing?
Is it still lunging for her? At this time?
Well, it's
So
looking
aggroed
at
on
her.
me, yeah.
Looking at her.
Is it aggroed on me or not yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we haven't got to that point yet.
Yeah, it's not its turn, so
Okay.
it's mid-apparition, and you're the first to act.
I mean... But what if it has like big arms? I don't want to go near it.
You can choose to stand back if you like.
What's this intelligence? Can you count?
Hunter's
Plus
mark.
0.
Remember you have Hunter's mark.
I do have Hunter's mark, but
You don't
Is it
have
beast?
to do anything.
Yeah.
You can let it kill her if you want.
he's technically a beast, correct?
He is not.
No.
Boys.
You do not know. But you know he's not a beast.
Okay. I'm just gonna stay where I'm at and kind of yell at this one to move. I mean,
Okay. Do so.
move!
Alright. So after that, we move on to Kara. You're next.
I'm gonna punch it.
Wouldn't
Always
punch
the
it.
answer.
Alright.
Yeah. Punching is always the answer.
With the feasting and the sleeping, would we have gotten our hit points back from last time?
No.
Okay.
Would I have regained spells?
The 20 hit it?
Okay.
20 does hit.
So it's 2 hits.
So,
I was just saying if I was to use it very well.
16 points of damage.
16? Okay. Alright, so you run forward, and you're not using key point for flurry or anything like that. So you run forward, and you throw in a couple of punches into the side of this thing. It just kind of snarls, but doesn't even look in your direction. Its eyes fixed upon the tiefling across the fire from its location.
Don't move.
just
After Kara, it is your turn, tiefling.
I'm going to cast Witch Bolt.
Dagmar,
Or
your
at least
turn.
attempt to.
Do you know what this is?
12.
So you launch this bolt of electrical energy at this massive creature, but in your terror, you just kind of launch this spell out into the ether and do not make contact.
And I have no time to register what this is or do anything like that, right?
Right. You can move. You still have movement left if that's what you choose to do, but you have used your action. Okay. Kara? Or, sorry, not Kara. Dagmar. What are you doing?
I'm gonna yell at her, don't run inside, there's children in there!
Are
And
you
then I'm
actually
going
gonna-
to draw my two long swords, and then I'm gonna go boop, boop, and attack.
Okay.
So 24 and a 17.
Both hit.
So she does 12 plus 8, so 20 points of damage.
20 points. So. Alright, so you slash into it and you see just tiny little rivulets of this kind of black blood kind of ooze out of the wounds. But it seems completely insubstantial. It doesn't even flinch at the pain.
Okay.
After Dagmar, it is Wentsu's turn.
Get right in front of it, I guess. Just trying to figure a way to come on that.
I mean, you can get behind it too, because you can move, as long as you don't step away from it, you can move around it without provoking attacks of opportunity or anything like that.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna come behind it then.
Okay, so you move around behind it, drawing your
Daggers.
curved dagger.
Yeah. And I'm going to use my curved dagger on it. This is not a giant, is it?
It is not a giant.
Okay, just maybe?
Or an ogre.
Or
Definitely.
an ogre.
Or an ogre, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Alright, so attack. Sorry. Yeah, 23. Sorry.
23 hits.
And so I get sneak attack with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. You have 2 allies in base contact with it at this point.
Yeah, that's terrible. 7, 13 points of damage.
13. Alright, so as you circle around behind it, you grab your blade and flip it around and do a slashing across its lower back, and basically, which is roughly at eye level with you. You rake it across and it's gashed, but just very minimal blood kind of trickles out of it at this point. Your attacks, while effective, seem to be just pecking away, no pun intended, at this beast. After Wentsu, Sylen.
Something's not right about this beast.
Why are you going inside? I got yelled at for going inside.
Yeah, but
It's not coming after me. I'm just gonna step back a bit. I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast it.
All right.
So, 18.
18 does hit.
Does cold damage have any effect on it?
It does,
Okay.
but I need it separate.
Yep. That's why I was asking. All right. So, 12 force and 8 cold.
All right, so you step back into the shelter of the main villa and let loose with your bolt of energy. The bolt, with its swirl of frost damage that kind of goes around with it, strikes, but it doesn't seem that the frost has as much impact as the bits of shards of ice and everything kind of collect. It almost immediately dissipates, but the force damage does as normal. At this point, the creature turns and just, or doesn't do. It turns towards the fire, leaps away from the fire, so the 3 people in melee combat with it get attacks of opportunity, and goes around to the sorceress.
Seriously, what did you do?
I missed. 25 to hit.
That is a hit.
9 points of damage.
Okay.
And then Wentsu had to take care of.
All right. So as soon as Wentsu gets back,
He's a little flighty right now.
So many bird jokes.
Have I caught the innkeeper's name?
Eskin.
Okay. Well, new player, I knew it.
Yeah, it's been mentioned in your presence, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Well, you know, she's kind of blonde.
Didn't he introduce himself to you too?
Not really.
I am.
I got to attack him.
No, I was asking.
All right. So yeah, you get. So you take.
They.
You took a punch at it and missed, and you swung a long sword and slashed into it, kind of nicking it as it went by.
Okay. I will try to stab it again before it runs off.
Okay.
So, 21.
That is a hit.
Since this is just an attack of opportunity, it's just a regular attack,
Yeah,
right?
it's just regular attack.
So 8 more points of damage.
Okay. All right. So it just shrugs off those attacks and immediately lunges at you, taking a claw attack, 2 claws, and a bite at you. The first swing will hit is a critical hit. Natural 20. The second claw is a 23. And then the bite is a 21. Alright, so let's do the 32. 32 plus 5 is...
37.
So with the first attack, you take 37 points of damage as it just completely disembowels you, ripping the entire front portion of your body out. The second blow, it just comes in and reaches up into your rib cage and pulls you closer as it just bites down across your shoulders and neck. Blood just pouring down the remainder of this creature. And it just, after that, it just kind of clutches and holds your deceased form. Well, technically you get death saves, but you fail 2 of them automatically because of the 2 attacks after that, so make sure you mark that down. And kind of turns and looks at the others. At this point, it's initiative again.
So roll initiative still.
Kara,
9.
Wentsu,
Sorry. 18.
Kalista,
6.
Mordai,
11.
Sylen,
11.
Dagmar.
23.
All right, Dagmar, you are first.
Okay. Seeing it, slay one of the people we've just met within 10 seconds of showing up, I'm gonna bellow as loud as I can to Eskin to hide and get to safety.
Okay.
And then I am going to attack. Whoops. 2 long swords. One's a crit, and the other one's a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Okay. Nice! Okay, so 9.
You're supposed to roll them separately
I
because
did.
one of them is a crit.
Yeah, the non-crit is
They're
9 points of
colors.
damage.
Okay.
There's 2 different colors there. Yeah, 8, so I double the dice roll and then add my strength modifier?
Yeah.
Okay, so 20. So 29 altogether.
Okay. So you yell out to the others for the innkeeper to run and hide, and as you lunge forward, the first blade sinking deep into the back of this thing, the black blood kind of pulls out over your hand, and you pull it out, and you just kind of set this like spray of blood across the patio, while the second blade slashes into it, also drawing deep. But the creature still stands and snarls, but this time it howls out in pain, something that it has not done so far. After Dagmar, it is Wentsu.
Alright. I'm just going to go to attack it, but I gotta move. Straight up behind it. Yeah, that works. So he runs up next to Dagmar.
Okay.
He's going to pulls his dagger back out, and flips his dagger around to go at it again. Double blade work, and I'm gonna probably miss. 16 to hit.
That is a hit.
Oh, that's good. I got base contact, sneak attack. So let's see. Oh wow.
Oh,
Sneak X.
There's a neat one. 10, 12 points of damage.
12.
2 ones. It's pretty impressive.
And a 4 on me.
Yeah, I rolled
Alright.
the highest on my 4-sided die and the lowest on my 6-sided die.
Alright, so you plunge the dagger in and you tear out a large chunk of it. It seems that the wounds are beginning to take its toll, and you can see that it's starting to falter a bit, but it's still just kind of lingering. It snarls at you. You see the black chain kind of rotating around its neck. You see that the runes that you could see before 3 of them have winked out of existence. So there's now 1 rune left circling in this chain, holding the links together.
As I notice that, I'm going to yell to Sylen, can you see that on its neck? I don't know if you can see it from that far away.
Well, it was a little closer when it was first there. Would I know anything about those runes?
Quite possibly, but you'll have to determine that on your turn. Alright, so at this point, it is the creature's turn. It kind of turns, clutching the body of the tiefling, blood just pouring out around it, and looks at the rest of you as like, you are not named in the pact. And reaches down and rips the head from the tiefling and drops the body, holding the bloody skull and head in its teeth, and just stands there.
Wentsu's feeling anguish because he's losing yet another member of his party to death.
Somewhere
That would
Tessa's
also
trying
kind
to
of had a
find-
tie to Lou, because Lou kind of took her under his wing.
And then after it, however, is Mordai and Sylen simultaneously.
Well, I am going to... No, that last one fit.
Dismembered you.
Arcana?
Yeah.
23.
Based off of the speech about a pact and the chain, which at this point you see that the rune dissipates and the chain is broken. This creature was somehow summoned and bound.
But now it's free?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to cast Witch Bolt at it.
Okay.
25.
Hit.
Alright, I think. Where's my...
This one?
No, this one. The oft misused D12. 7 points of thunder damage.
Alright, so you cast your witch bolt and you make that line of connection between you and the creature and send out this blast of what is it?
I believe it's actually thunder. Let me double check. But
Either way, you send out this blast of energy.
it's like, yeah, lightning damage. So
And so it will take half of that. But regardless, you make the connection and the body begins to kind of tremble and burn, and then in a cloud of sulfur and soot and ash, it just goes poof, and this little tiny piece of parchment drifts to the ground. Just like a little sliver of parchment lands in the pool of blood.
does the poof seem like we actually vanquished it, or that it kind of just basically teleported back to where it came? Or is there not really any way to tell?
That would be a check for that. An Arcana check.
Can I make a reflex save to try and catch it before it lands?
Sure.
So it'd be a 19 Arcana.
A bit of both. It was a demon that had been summoned. It's slain, its physical form destroyed on this plane, but it would just go back to where it had been summoned from. At this
Probably
point.
in pain.
Yeah.
9.
To be reborn later. 9?
9.
No, you do not catch the parchment as it lands in the blood. But you also notice that the skull, the head of the tiefling, is not there.
This is a common occurrence for you guys?
No,
No?
not at all. No.
I'm dead.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
9.
It's kind of hard to read, as Matt would say. But
Well,
you see her mangled corpse is just kind of spread all over the stonework there, Her head is missing, and there's just this like little sliver of yellowed parchment laying on the ground.
I am gonna go grab that parchment
Okay.
because
All right.
it's actually kind of one of my flaws. Is most
What do you
people
want?
scream and run when they see a demon. I study it, so like this doesn't.
I wanna holler inside to Eskin. Eskin!
He's still over there. He never
He
had a
didn't-
chance to go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone who can get me off my feet.
So I'll just turn back and point to, like, keep the children inside so they don't see this. We'll get it cleaned up.
Okay.
And then, snap on some rubber gloves, I guess. I don't know.
All right. So,
I
You
wanted to
pick
grab. I wanted to. Yeah.
all right. You pick up the piece of parchment, and do you speak Abyssal?
I do not.
Then you are not completely certain as to what the parchment says.
Do you have the comprehend languages?
No.
If only we had a sorcerer.
Then what the
But
Only
you
there
do
was
notice
one
that
down
there
in the
is.
basement.
You do notice that there is something else that seems to be almost woven into the parchment itself.
Like magical.
Physical. It looks like a number of maybe hairs that are kind of stitched through the parchment.
Would I know?
They match
Why?
the hair color that would have been on her head if it were still here.
Okay. So, I could assume, with my high intelligence, that this is the actual pact, like basically the instructions for the demon and who to go after.
It's possible. You could
I
make
could
that
infer
assumption.
Yeah.
You guys knew her longer? Or did you know that she did something like us? Or if she was anywhere, like, in that spectrum of evil things?
You were in prison with her, weren't you?
I only met her for a day.
Like, how did she get? So you knew her. How did you know her before she was in prison?
Yeah, she disappeared. We were.
So this technically isn't the first time that some weird thing has
No.
happened in
We
regards
were
to her.
fighting in the tower and she just was like gone. And then reappeared later at Tess and Liam's house with.
Wasn't there a
Mordai.
smell of sulfur when she disappeared the last time?
No, just a shadowy, inky black.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I would guess that they tried to catch her before, put her in jail. She escaped with Mordai. But why wouldn't they come after you? Is something coming after you now?
It didn't even look in your direction.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe she did something much worse than you did? Or someone paid
I'm not
to-
even supposed to be in prison, but I am.
What did they put you in there for?
Accused of murder.
Did you even hit that thing?
I wasn't able to. I was about to run.
I don't think this one murdered anybody.
Yeah, you kind of seem to freeze up at the start there.
Kind of a good point.
That thing's scary. I'm not going over there. I'm gonna
It
get out
has
a piece of
huge
rag and start
horns.
wiping off the bloody black ichor off of my
I'm
sword
sorry,
before I
not
shoot
all of
them.
us are born brave people to go kill things.
Well, most of us are born squishy babies. So, I mean, I don't know what it's like for your people, but
Oh, no one's looking. Wentsu took her boobs.
Alright, make a sleight of hand check.
My boots.
Oh, that's terrible. 8. No, 9.
9.
my
Alright,
passive
as you
perception.
guys are as you guys are talking, you just kind of glance over. Everybody just kind of stops talking. You just see Wentsu pulling the boots off of her, taking her shoes. You just kind of look up and you see everybody just kind of looking at you.
It's like the Wicked
She's
Witch.
still warm,
Just
for
take-
Christ's sake.
I just keep taking them.
Just slips on 2 feet.
She won't need these.
They have feathers.
Do you see what I'm talking about now?
You won't need those later either.
The steam hasn't finished rising off her corpse.
It's easier to clean up this way.
Sure. All right.
Speaking of cleanup, does anyone have any ideas?
Well, I'm not really versed in body disposal.
I mean,
I'll pull my
Is that-
blanket out.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah. I'll pull my blanket out and just basically like pull my sleeves up, take my jacket off and toss it on a bench and just start. Just try and pick it up.
All right. So you start trying to clean it up. What are the remainder of you doing?
Somebody get a water skin and spray this blood off.
Can we not do it into the lagoon?
No, we'll bring her over where.
Into the lagoon? When
Well,
was that ever brought up?
No, but we're on the balcony and they're trying to put water on blood. Which means it's gonna go off the balcony.
it'll just go into the ground.
Yeah, we're not that close to the water.
Yeah, there's a beach that's like
Okay.
right out there, so
I'm
you're all right.
Okay.
Can I be Sandra now and just come out with my broom like?
Sure.
No, the children were kept inside.
Didn't you have a
One thing I
I'm a child.
We'll get to
a
that.
staff or something too?
Yeah, there is a
Yeah, I did
staff.
have a staff.
That's not gonna fit in this
You said
bedroll.
this used to be a fountain, but for somewhere.
No, she thought it might be a
I thought
fire.
it was
Gonna steal my
fine.
But
stuff.
it's always, it was designed as a fire.
Is there
Well,
any
I
water?
don't know.
Just
Other-
kick that towards.
The source in the house.
Yeah. No, so we'd have to go get water from the well outside.
Just
Yeah.
silent.
Okay.
Have
So I'll go do that. Find the well.
We'll just
All right,
be
so you go
used
find the well.
to him.
Wentsu
I
is
think he
taking
has
the
a staff.
boots. What are you doing?
I'm just kind of like hardcore
Wentsu
thinking
takes
things
the
over.
hand, like
Okay.
Because I'm
he's
like
going
curious
that with the
why I
staff.
let this person take me out
He
of
turns it
prison.
down.
I couldn't use it.
Oh, okay. It's a wizard, that's right. Sorcerer.
You're cleaning up. You don't get to do
Well, I had a question about
Oh,
cleaning
wait.
up. That's
Can
fine.
I go over to
There, stick it on top.
Hmm?
names?
Tessa and Liam.
Yes.
They're upstairs. But yeah, you can go over there.
Okay.
All right, so you make your way inside and go upstairs. You see Tessa is kind of trying to peek. They're in their room, but Tessa's trying to like peek past Liam, who's kind of blocking the door.
Everything okay up here?
Yeah, what happened? We heard a fight for a little bit and some growling. Tessa's pretty sure that somebody is dead again.
Well, there's definitely somebody dead. This creature just like popped out of nowhere and decided to kill
Kalista.
Kalista
Very bad.
very badly.
All right, Tessa, I need you to go pack up your things. It is not anywhere near as safe to be with these people as we might have originally thought. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get through the jungle and find someplace else to go. And she just kind of proudly goes over and starts
We
gathering up her things.
we found some crystals that lead back to
The tower in Bramblemarsh. Or
the tower of sorts. I don't know what this tower is.
I guess at this point that would be safer than being around you people.
I don't take offense to that. I've only known these people for a couple days.
All right, so Sylen, what are you doing?
I want to, as grisly as it is, actually go over Kallista's things to see if I can find a reason why she would be targeted. Like, I'm not looking for any, like, to steal anything off of her. I want to see if there's something that stands out as being,
Cursed. Or
Well,
of a sort. Kind
I don't know. So I guess just something that stands out as potentially what someone would be after. If it wasn't, unless it was her specifically, but just in case. So, I'm just
give me an
gonna,
investigation check.
I don't know if I'm actually gonna find anything. I'm not gonna find anything. 9.
Looking over it, you don't find anything that would stand out as any kind of significance.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a magic staff, but it's more of a woodland.
Yeah.
You don't find anything that would point out that kind of thing. The only clue that you really have at this point is the slip of parchment.
What was it written in? Okay.
Abyssal. But one thing I will do, since I'm here, is I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation to kind of help clean up the bloody mess.
Oh, get my hands, get my hands.
So.
That's kind of what I was asking about earlier. when I asked.
I didn't realize I
didn't know
had.
what to do.
I didn't realize
No,
I
you
had
have to be like,
prestidigitation. I didn't realize I took it as a cantrip. I forgot. It's been a while since I've played Sylen. I'm sorry.
All right. So after the body is cleaned up, you guys are still sitting around with no closer to any answers
All right.
to what's going on than you were when all of this began.
Are you holding the parchment?
Yeah.
So
I think.
Wentsu-
Does your Dragonborn friend know Abyssal?
She can read. She has a spell where she can read anything.
Okay.
I can copy it for you, but I can't read it.
Actually, just in case, here, take a look at this. Can you make a copy in case?
So, just-
Just jot it down real quick.
yeah, I have a. I'm assuming. Well, like Wentsu carries a little
Yeah.
a notebook and
She
stuff.
seems-
so.
Something you kind of notice about it is because you're accustomed to writing these things down and stuff like that. It is not ink that you recognize on the parchment.
This is not written in ink.
Take a closer look. I'm going to assume it's blood, but can I tell what it is written in?
Since he points it out, you just kind of look it over, make an intelligence check.
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah.
I like the.
No.
You want me to? should
You're
I-
not you're not the write it down kind of spellcaster, so
Yeah.
Could I roll and see what? Would that be intelligence also? If I
yeah, you can make an intelligence check for it.
maybe I'd. I rolled worse than he did.
Yeah.
You're just accustomed to using ink, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's not ink, but you don't know what. Alright, well,
Could be poop.
Hmm?
Could be poop.
Maybe.
who was your Dragonborn friend, like, friendlier to any one of you than anyone else?
No.
Okay.
I mean, not gonna kill you, but not.
Well,
She's known Kara the longest.
Yeah, I'd say that Kara and her, they did travel together. That's. I don't know how long, but not long. But
We didn't travel together, did we?
I
Yeah.
have you,
We
yeah.
came to town
you
the same
two
ship.
did.
You two came together. On
You guys known each other for several months.
She's like, "We're
no, I don't know.
I was with Lou.
I
don't know
confused.
that
I
one.
thought the.
there was Kalista and Kalista,
I know,
yeah.
I'm confused.
I know, that's...
They did it on purpose, both of
I'm
them.
gonna take a
Yeah.
look. I'm gonna take it a while.
Mordai, Kalista,
Alright. Well, I'm gonna go and see if she'll actually, translate this for us. If anyone wants to join me, since I don't know this person at all.
I'll go with you. Wait, I'm not there. I'm getting the water from the well. Or did I come back?
Yeah, you've come back.
Okay.
The body's been cleaned up and everything by now,
To
so
wash the
that's done.
floors.
Can
Quick
I,
bucket
like-
of water.
Get back to the
Well,
group.
now you just have water for
Yeah.
no reason. Who's prestidigitation?
Alright, so
You can make it.
you two go down off into the basement with your little bloody slip of parchment.
Not bloody anymore.
Oh,
Well, unless it's inked in blood, but any of Kalista's blood that was spilled on it during her death, and
you cleaned it up.
it's cleaned up.
Okay. You go. What?
Something coming?
No. Caitlin's calling for the cat. She walked out.
So you get down there. You get the little bit of parchment.
All right. So we head over towards Kalista,
Okay.
and I kind of just motion Kara to initiate the conversation.
You hand her the piece of parchment.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Kalista?
Yeah.
Are you busy?
Yes.
Just real quick. We have this piece of parchment. Can you read this?
I'm gonna assume that I have comprehend languages up because I can't personally speak to Yorin
Right.
by my onesies.
That's what I'm saying. You were
So yeah,
translating it.
where did you get this?
Inside of a monster. He just appeared upstairs out of nowhere. He kind of killed Kalista.
Which one was that?
Boobsy one.
I kind of liked her.
Yeah, she was good. But yeah, so he disappeared with her head in his mouth, and this piece of paper was left behind.
Inside of the monster.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is it?
It has it's a very simple pact that summoned a demonic creature and to kill Kalista. The pact was they won't go into all of the details because it's very fine print and it just kind of covers this whole slip of paper. But the pact was between a demon named Geralth and a certain count that you recognize the name of, Count Bartholomew Winsworth.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll pull over a piece of parchment and a quill. I'll
Okay.
set it down. I'll cast prestidigitation for it to write it out for them in common as I read it off,
Okay.
so they can have basically a translation of it.
All right. As you read it off, it winds up taking up about 15 sheets of paper.
Wow. Well, they wanted here. You owe me paper.
Thanks. Well, hand it to him. He was really interested in it because
Who's he? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Don't touch anything.
his
It's
name is Sylen. He's on a quest. We just met. So
All right.
Let me know if you need anything.
okay.
Then she just goes back to her books.
All right. The hairs that were bound into the parchment are part of the ritual binding and also sets the target for the summoned beast.
You talk to him.
I talked to him for a while.
We were across the table and his belly wouldn't let him move.
So did I hear? I heard that.
Yeah, she basically.
Yeah, because I read it out loud to you
So I'm
guys.
just kind of
but-
wondering. I mean, I know that we met the Count in town, and I thought he liked her. I have no idea
He did say to meet up with you after later.
because you didn't show up for his date. He directed you in town to kill you.
Failed on a booty call. That's
Savage.
Hard.
All right.
So do you want to take it upstairs and let them know what it says?
Yeah. I guess we'll go upstairs and I'll just relay the CliffsNotes version.
There's not very
No.
many up there that know what it means because they weren't in that town with us.
So who knows Kalista?
Yeah.
So basically, Wentsu's the only person in.
Well,
And Mordai.
but in town when we were in the
Yeah,
inn,
Mordai didn't know
it
the-
was
Did
Tessa
Mordai
went
know?
there.
Tessa,
Tessa. Was Tessa
Liam,
They know the count
Tessa,
though.
there? Oh, they do know
Liam,
the Count.
Sandra, Eskin, and then the three of them.
So-
But as far as like,
Most of us.
with Mordai, would Mordai know more about like why, like more about the pact in general because of?
No,
No.
it had nothing to do with Mordai at all.
I know, but the jail thing. So.
Yeah, it's completely unrelated because
Okay.
the count didn't send you to jail.
Oh, that's right. That was another thing. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I do a lot of bad
You're dead.
things.
Be quiet.
Shut your
Yeah.
mouth.
You have no head, and you must scream.
Which was also part of the pact. The head had to be returned.
Ew.
So, are we back upstairs and
Yeah.
told everybody this?
You've conveyed the information to these people.
So it seems like even though that we took care of when we rescued Tess and Liam, the Count is still very much
He needs to die.
himself. And yeah, we might need to go back there and finish what we started with him.
Who is this person?
Uh,
Bad man.
Count, and he was in charge of what would he be in charge of? That town, but like
The
Arizona,
whole county.
the whole county.
Was he the person that put this Tess and her brother in danger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
hunting Tessa as a witch, basically. Okay. And so he is what?
Okay. Great.
So yeah, so he is in charge of that whole county, and he's really bad guy.
Sounds like it.
So
Is he in the habit of summoning demons to eat?
I only met him
I'm
the
lucky.
once, and
Get to meet him.
we just heard rumors about what he's done, and
What about, you said he's the count of the area. Would Eskin know more?
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he was a business owner in that town.
He stole from Eskin.
I'm gonna go find Eskin, I guess.
Meanwhile, Eskin is inside in the kitchen area talking to his daughter. So, Eskin is sitting with you, and you have brought up the whole concept of possibly returning back to Calmoria and Bramblemarsh. You want to go back because you are concerned. Your brother is there. Many of the people there are people you've known your entire life. And things there are bad. And you want to help. You want to step up and do more than simply being sweeping floors and this, that, and the other. Your father and you had gotten into an argument, pretty serious one, much earlier in the morning, which is why you've been kind of avoiding people. You've just kind of been upset, not particularly angry, just kind of emotionally upset about it. But he has approached you and he's telling you that they have a crystal that will take us back to the tower there in Bramblemarsh. I think we should go. That would put us outside of town and we could move on to down the road and possibly, hopefully, make our way to Arandia and catch up with your brother.
I want to do more though than just go where is needed and not really make much of a difference other than fleeing.
I've been thinking about that, and if that is something you want to do, I will support you in that. But I worry about you. You are my only daughter, and I care about you. But you have your mother's spirit.
I appreciate that.
And he's like, take these. And hand you his shield and his sword. The one that he has spent a good portion of time training you on how to use, along with several other weapons, as he's always wanted you to be able to defend yourself. Plus, it gave you an opportunity to get out of the inn and just go do something. It's always kind of been in your nature to be a little bit adventurous, a little bit athletic, rambunctious. Even when he's basically tried to keep you sheltered in the inn and in town, you've always just kind of managed to find your way out and about. He's like, take these. These were mine when I was working for the Crown's Guard. They will see you safe.
Are you sure?
Yes. And he reaches into a pouch. It's just a small bag, approximately 8 inches by about 8 inches. He reaches in, his arm kind of disappears, and he rummages around a little bit. You see him pull out a handful of chainmail. He hands it to you. Here's the chain shirt that you've been practicing in. Wear that, you'll be fine. Reaches back in, down, rummages around a little bit, pulls out a cloak. And this, all good adventurers need a cloak to protect them from the weather and rain. And very carefully puts it on your shoulders and everything. You kind of brush him away.
It's okay. I appreciate the sentiment. I'll be okay.
I'm going back downstairs. When you're ready, just just come back downstairs. And as he turns, he's like, straightens his apron and then walks out and goes downstairs. Meanwhile, what are the remainder of you doing?
Well, we just got back upstairs and we're telling them we've pretty much decided we're going back to Bramblemarsh. So we just need to figure out who's going.
Okay.
Correct?
Let's see, we talked about the count. There's people who said the count probably needs to go. I don't know, we didn't really just talk about it that much. I'm kind of...
Would it be safe to assume that we're going to bring the crystal to get back here with? That way we can go
Wentsu
deal with the
has it.
count.
Yeah.
Provided I make it. Yeah.
So it's on his body. It's kind of jokingly whisper. So we could go handle this count, make sure that there's no more demons coming through rips in the space-time continuum to attack anybody near here. Make sure that the innkeeper gets back to town safe, right? And then we can come back and we can look into the elf city.
Yes, it sounds like, because of the death of their friend, I don't trust our two chances alone in this jungle.
Yeah.
No offense to your abilities or mine, but...
No. None taken.
But we have a way to and back here pretty handily.
At this point, you see Eskin come into the group. He's like, so you're saying that you can travel back and forth between here and Bramblemarsh?
Yes. Actually.
Apparently there's crystals. Multiple crystals.
Then perhaps I and a couple others should remain here. You can gather up some of the people from the town. This would be a good safe haven. There's food and what have you that can be gathered from the nearby jungle.
Yeah.
I think the hard part is going to be those kids. Are we going to take those kids back if they were wanted in the area, or
Well,
are they going to stay here?
Do they want to go back?
we could...
They, the brother wanted to go back. He feels that that Tessa is not safe with us, or
But we're going back. What do you mean not safe with us?
I think with them.
That has proven true. I mean, they've lost 2 people in the last 24 hours.
How many were on your ship?
I wasn't driving.
You were there to protect them.
I tried to protect them, and the captain didn't listen to me. I knew there was a storm coming.
But what
Pointing
about
fingers,
on the
though, is what
island?
I'm saying.
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, if the children don't feel safe, they should be somewhere that they feel safe. If that's
we can
with,
ask them if they'll stay behind.
At least for now,
I don't even know these kids, so
to make sure that like it's at least habitable near their house.
Are they back upstairs still?
Yeah. At this point, you see Sandra come walking out of the main house. She's got a large shield with a crest on it of the emblem of Calmoria, a long sword upon her belt, wearing some fairly shiny chain armor. She's got her kind of bluish colored tunic that she's kind of wearing underneath it. She's got this really heavy, deep blue cloak kind of draped across her shoulders. Her hair has been braided into 2 braids that basically hang down out of her way. And she looks determined.
I take it you're going with us, Sandra?
I'd like to. I want to do more than just kind of be following at this point. It seems like you guys have lost people and need some help.
and look at her dad.
It's her choice.
I would appreciate going to make sure that my brother is safe, or getting my father to him, on his way at least.
Where's your brother?
Back in Kalmaria.
Looks like there might be a slight change in plans. These people have a way to travel back and forth between here and Bramblemarsh.
So we could potentially bring him here.
Yeah, bring him here, and as well as other refugees seeking some sort of protection. We have the barbarian, kind of points over his shoulder. Perhaps we can hire her as a guard for now. She seems to respond well to coin.
Yeah, we can leave. Can we leave Tess and Liam with you here while we go make sure it's safe there?
If
to
you can
take them back
convince
home?
them to stay.
We'll send the refugees back through with ale. That'll keep her here. The sailor, that is.
I was going to say, I don't think Tessa drinks ale. She's a little young for that, but
Hey,
Who
sometimes
am I to
it's safer than the
judge?
water.
Are we sure that that's safe, though, with the locals that we have yet to meet?
to be fair, the only things that have attacked us here haven't really been from here.
You have a fair point.
But
This
then
is
again,
safer
that's also
than-
why we hired her as a guard, pointing again towards the barbarian, just kind of snoozing away in the hammock.
Are you sure you'll be safe?
I'm capable. Between her and I, we should do fine.
Okay, well, someone needs to talk to Liam and Tessa, and someone needs to talk to the barbarian. And we can
Who is closer with?
leave in the morning, basically. Is it the same time? Like, when we went through the portal from Bramblemarsh, did we...
Oddly
from the
enough, yeah,
town, it was the
it
same
seemed
time.
roughly around the same
So we
time
could
of day.
essentially sleep and get a long rest and then go in the morning, so we
Yeah, you
get
could do that.
our full health back and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, over the course of the remainder of the day, you gather up some basic supplies, tend to wounds, kind of convince the barbarian to stay on as a guard. With the she seems okay with that idea. Some gold was offered, as well as the promise of some ale being sent back with perhaps the first round of refugees. So she seems a little bit more at peace with that kind of idea.
How much gold?
The innkeeper has given her 10 gold.
From his own?
Yeah.
Okay.
One
He
thing-
doesn't have a lot, but the gold doesn't serve him very much right now, so.
Wentsu
It's just heavy pieces.
walks over and hands the barbarian another 20 gold pieces and just tells him to make sure that she stays with him.
All right. This is a pretty profitable little business I've got going here.
Nap it in the hammock, getting paid for it.
Callista paid for it.
You guys also
makes sense.
convince Liam to stay here. Between his skills as a hunter and the fact that you guys are kind of going back where you're going back and what you're going back to do, he's a little bit more relaxed with the idea of staying here now.
Away from us.
You get the feeling that might be part of it, but at the same time, he's
Once the count dead.
yeah,
Or at least taken care of. In some-
taking care
Well, and the
of.
thing is, too, from his character's point of view, he's living the exact same lifestyle here that he was back home. Except here, the people actually tolerate them instead of being like, he's hunting things, he's digging up plants, because with all the plant ladies' books, he'll be able to tell which ones are edible.
Mhm.
And it's a tropical fucking island, so...
So it's still like
You know
got the whole swamp ass stuff going on.
Yeah.
At some point, I would like to sneak over to, well, not sneak, but head over to Mordai.
Okay.
And be like, so I don't want to sound rude. I'm trying very hard not to make eye contact with Wentsu when I say this. Did Kalista have a blanket? Mine got a little, dirty.
I had an explorer's pack.
Wentsu kicks an explorer's pack over to you.
Oh, hey, thanks. I needed a blanket. I'll just kind of slowly separate the blanket from the rest of it. Shove the pack over to him. He seems pretty possessive of this shit.
Yeah, one thing that I want to do while we're finishing out the day, and I'll possibly need Wentsu's help with this, is there's one major thing that we haven't really done anything with, and that's the medallion that has the divination magic attached to it. So, want to make sure that if it's trapped like the crystal was, to disarm it, and basically get in there and try and figure out exactly what the medallion does.
Okay. You wanna? You already know what to look for, so you don't have to look for traps. Just roll the disables just like before.
And I'll assist again with the arcane.
Yeah, so you'll have advantage.
But this is intelligence against a 7. so-
Right.
Okay.
You have
15. What? Damn. 15 on the first one.
Okay. With that, you manage to get one of the runes undone. You don't set anything off, but at one point you slip and you get the sense that you were pretty close to setting off one of the runes.
What was that like? There we go. That one would be 19 or 19.
Okay. So you managed to disable 2 more of the runes fairly easily. It takes a little bit of time, but you get them down, and you have 1 rune remaining.
Alright. Make sure Wentsu doesn't bonus this. 5. It's cocked, but it's on a 13.
20 total.
20, yeah.
All right. So you remove the final rune, and the case is now safe to be handled. You
Okay.
pull off the glass thing, and there's this gold medallion laying on the pillow.
And of course, since I read Dior, I can see the stuff that we know about it, which is...
Right. It's just a service award of some sort.
But there was divination magic attached to it. That
It was.
I don't really have identify, so I guess I'll just do an arcane check to see if I can figure out what it does.
Okay. Do you pick it up?
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
All right. You pick it up, and almost immediately, the room spins. You feel completely disoriented and feel like you're dragged somewhere. You just suddenly, and you find yourself looking, not physically, but somehow peering into a room. You see a very dark chamber, for the most part, with a very pale blue light emanating from 2 sconces back behind what looks to be a black ebony desk. Behind the desk is piled with various parchments and books and everything. You see books stacked kind of haphazardly on the floor. Bookshelves back behind the desk are filled with books, and some of them are stacked up in front of other books. You see this massive skull of some sort of beast hanging above the desk. It's got these long horns and kind of a long snout with various sharp, jagged teeth. The lower jaw of which is missing, so it's just the top half of the skull. At the desk, you see this robed, hunched figure with these gaunt, bony fingers with pale, white, grayish flesh, very neatly scrawling away at something on a piece of paper in front of it. As it lifts its head and looks in your direction, you see this skeletal face. Flesh, what little remains, is pulled tight across its cheekbones and the brow. These wisps of billowing white hair seem to cascade around its face, and these pinpoints of bluish light emanates from the empty sockets. And it just kind of looks, and it goes back to its writing, and you hear this voice even though the mouth on this creature is not moving. It appears that I have an unexpected visitor. I shall communicate with this one, only briefly, as he has interrupted my diligent note-takings. And then the head raises back up, looks at you for a moment. It is an elf, apparently a warlock of some sort, bound to a fae. And it raises its head back up to you. What can I do for you, intruder?
Well, this was unexpected on my part, but may I ask who you are?
I am Lord Deshay, Lich King of Diora. And with that, that's where we'll end.